Hey there, you're watching the Jessa channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and this is Pathfinder Kingmaker, the Enhanced Edition, where we are about to rock troll some face. That didn't sound right. We're taking on a rock troll today in Pathfinder Kingmaker. We are avenging our newest member, Ikandayo, here. In the last episode, if you'll remember, Ikandayo did some grieving, and his friend and companion, Potema, the wolf, was right by his side. The party has banded together, though Valerie remains aloof, much to Zara, our main character, much to her chagrin. Therefore, I sense that Valerie will not be long for this party. And perhaps not long for this world, the world of Golarion, because, like I said, right over here is a rock troll. Now, the interesting thing is that this is kind of a puzzle. We have to fight him until day. Once day falls, again, we can, as long as he is in sunlight, he will turn to stone. So we need to somehow trick him. It is currently the 2nd of Erodus. That is the 8th month in our calendar, in the year 4710, and it's about 6:32 p.m. in the world of Golarion. Let's go ahead and select the whole party and bring them forward. So we can see this light here. Very important because supposedly he is nearby. Ah, maybe in here. Yeah. We are stealthily hidden. We stand before the door, wondering what doom awaits us. Anybody see any doom? Huh. Oh, wait. Hello. Farg! Borba here! Borba want kill Daddy? No! Now remember, the trolls refer to all other humankind and man and mer in the world of Golarion as Borba. Why kill Daddy Borba? Why? It's as if they are trying to reason with the party. But it turns out that our rock troll has been busy making little baby rock trolls, it seems like. Ikandayo winces. Rock trolls. Smaller than Kargadd. The trolls, who have just appeared seemingly from nowhere, look small, though they are small only in comparison to a mature rock troll. Their height equals the height of a grown man. Borba want kill Daddy! Oh! Borba garungu! Borba bad Borba! Ikon silently raises his bow, slow, measured. The trolls don't run away. Instead, they stare at him with offended expressions. Want kill us too, Borba? Says Karga. We're gonna go with this neutral here. I feel like this is what she would do. Particularly because she remembers the rock troll that the troll that we met at the entrance, who for his trouble of helping us got a smack in the face from the king of the trolls. Though she still hopes to be able to solve this in some way diplomatically, and murdering young trolls is not diplomatic. So she holds a hand up, Her slow, soft voice soothes Ikendayo as his eyes slide from the trolls to Zara's face. They are just children. Yes, they are troll children. But they are just children. They do not raise their arms to us, and therefore we do not raise our arms to them. Your revenge lies with Kargadd, not with his. And then she looks at them, trying to be polite as to not continue offending them, not with his offspring. So, Ikendayo stares at her, his eyes looking deep into her eyes, his lips quavering with emotion. Fear, sorrow, anger, it's hard to tell. Not kids, he says. Trolls. Monsters. Iken objects through clenched teeth without putting the bow down. She stares Ikendayo down. It is a concert of wills. Not a contest, a concert. As two wills battle each other, each aiming to be louder, to be more fierce. She hopes that the tenderness and kindness that she showed Ikendayo moments before, which you saw in the last episode, helps him to stay his hand. She turns again to him and she says, very slowly, very calmly, as if talking to a frightened animal, for she is a druid and has talked down many a frightened animal. I command you to put the bow down, Iken. Then very slowly she turns to the trolls. I encourage you to run now. I am doing my best to control the anger and grief of my companion. But your father, your sire, is responsible for the deaths of many, including those of his family. If I ever find out that you have followed in your father's footsteps, then I swear to you, with all the power I have as the Duchess of the Stolen Lands, I will come back, and I will find you. Bracken backs up Zara's words by walking over, very calmly standing directly in front of her, and looking with impassive, cool eyes, his golden leopard eyes, at each of the young rock trolls. After several strained seconds, Ikendayo does as Zara has commanded, but half-heartedly. He mutters, "You are here to help my vengeance." "Oh, you. I do." He sounds like Yoda. Plus you have been, so far, a good friend. He mutters this as if reminding himself. Let us go now. Do not want to see the younglings of that rock of Kargadd anymore. He nods in the direction of the rock trolls. Here comes Daddy. Oh, it's on, baby.
Let's finish them.
Oh yeah, it's on. And yeah, so here is Big Daddy Kargadd, and there's no way we will be able to stay the hand of Ikendayo any longer. His eyes have gone almost completely black. His bow fires out as Lindsay begins her song of a battle cry, a song of defiance, a song of support of her companions in turn 1. We will inspire courage. Ikendio's turn is next, and his bow flies true. Well, actually, it may fly not that true because I don't know if we can hit him. He might be, well, we're just outside of the circle here. Now you can see the red. That means that's as far as Ikendio can hit. So he'd have to take a 5-foot step. And I'm actually have him do that now so that we can get in range of him. So we're gonna take a 5-foot step, which is gonna be really helpful at this moment. Let's hope he can do it, since everybody is so packed in here. Let me try to get him over here. There we go. So that now brings us in bow range. 5-foot step is part of the Pathfinder tabletop rules, which this game follows. And now that means that with Hurricane Bow in effect, we should be able to hit him. Now we're going to want to back up because we're going to want to kite him into the other room to get him underneath those sunbeams so he will stop healing. So we're going to have Ikendio hit here. Nice. Okay, so that does a fair amount of damage, and I'm happy to see that. That's excellent. And I'm really glad that Sara got a turn because it's pretty essential that Zara throw down this. So that this is going to delay him from getting to us while we back it up a little bit. All right, that is Entangle that she has just thrown down there, which puts vines on the ground, as you can see here, which slow the movement of Kargadd. Kargadd has, he is actually, he failed his reflex saving throw, which is wonderful news, meaning that he is now entangled. That's Zara's turn. Now I'm going to move her back here. And she's got a lot of movement points, so that's excellent. And then Patema, I'm going to move to here. And he may not make it towards us. Excellent. So now the rest of the party can move back. I'm going to move Harim to the front. Here, we're going to fight him here, like this. And then Bracken will hold the space right here in the center and line him up. They each have 2 movement, 0.2 times that they can move, which is why we can move him twice there. Valerie, same thing. We're going to move her here. Maybe there. So we have the front line here, depending on who he decides to attack. Jubilost is going to run super fast to here. Well, super fast. I think he might be... Is he entangled? No? Not sure why he's moving quite so slowly. Lindsay as well too. I don't know. Let me know if you know why he's moving so slowly, because he is not entangled. And then finally, Ikendio will move here. He is very angry, but he's not so angry as to be insane. And I'm going to move him back towards the back here. Okay, and so Jubilos is feeling a little nervous in this particular position. Little nervous. So that's that. This is like movement is not very exciting, but we really cannot do anything until we get him in this circle of this light here. Ow! He's got a ranged spell. Okay, that's bad. Let's hide the party around the corners. So let's put 1 damage and one. Let's put Patema over here, Bracken over here, Harim over here. So let's move him. Let's move him out of sight. That's a good idea. So he has not moved. So we're going to now have delay Harim's turn. And we're going to have Bracken draw him forward. So Bracken is right here, and I'm gonna have Bracken move up here like this. He has got a featherfoot, I think, so he cannot be entangled. And I'm gonna have him just stand here and see if we can get the rock troll. So everyone else's turn we're gonna be skipping. There's nothing else we can really do until we draw him back. Bracken growls, "I am pulling him forward. Ready your weapons." No. There we go. So he just missed 3 times. And Bracken is going to continue to draw him forward. Oh, okay. So we did take an attack of opportunity, but Bracken's okay. And then we're going to bring Valerie in now to about here. Get our front line prepared to start taking him on. Poor Jubilos is just like, this is the most boring fight ever. And I'm like, dude, you're right. I'm not gonna lie. It's not that interesting. However, it's called strategy. And then Ikendayo, now start wrecking face, Ikendayo. Go for it, brother.
I grant you dead.
That's what I'm talking about. And then we're gonna have you go like this. And then, you know what, I need to, oh wait! Did he just trip him? That's awesome. That does mean that he can move back though. I love the trip. So, Kargadd is, decided that now would be a good time. You know, raising children, people don't understand that raising babies is hard work on a daddy. And he's got like, what, like, you know, little nappy-headed one over here and little nappy-headed number 2, you know, and they just children, running around, being children. But that's hard on a daddy. And people don't understand that. He needs to get his rest in where he can. I'm not judging, you know. I mean, last week he tried to put that car seat in the minivan. It took him like forever, you know? Like, because they don't make car seats like they used to. People don't understand. That's the problem. All right, he's back up again and taking acid damage from Acid Maw. And then I'm going to have Bracken move a little bit farther, just a little bit farther. He missed on that attack of opportunity. Just trying to keep him in range. Poor Bracken. Valerie's like, she's leaning on her shield. Lindsay.
You deserved it.
What? Say what? You call that a boss fight? What was that? Can't heal that. Regenerate that, fool. I have no idea what just went down there, but I had no idea that that a critical would take him out. I thought he was like, he couldn't regenerate in the whole sunlight, and we built him up like, what was that? I feel angry about that. I want my boss fight. If I had known that that is all that I have to do, is just, I would have had my crew in there wrecking his face, and that fight would have been over 14 minutes ago. I thought he was invulnerable in the sunlight. What's up? I don't get that. I'm gonna write a strongly worded letter. Dear Owlcats, I love you very, very much, and I supported you on Kickstarter, and I cannot wait for Wrath of the Righteous. However, I am very, very disturbed by my lack of boss fight. I took that dude down in like 3 hits, because I exaggerate, you know, for effect. The troll utters a hoarse sound and falls thunderously. Dark, sticky blood oozes from his wounds. He tries to raise his hands to defend himself, but is only able to clench his fists. He snaps his jaws in one last effort to devour Ikendayo, because he recognizes Ikendayo, and as he lays there, his eyes turn slowly like pebbles in the sand towards Ikendayo's face. He grins and then snaps his jaws. Ikendayo does not waver. He stares the rock troll in his eyes. No fear, grim determination, mouth and jaw clenched. His lips so tight that they are just a line across his dark face. His dark eyes burn out of his skull head. Okay, maybe I'm getting a little bit over flowery with this. But his dark eyes burn into the trolls, and for a moment there is a moment of complete silence before, with one final gasp, Kargadd falls still. Ikendayo says, as always, a man of few words. Just one word. He turns to the party, looks at each of them in turn, and then says, "Done." He sighs. He lowers his bow. And Valerie is not sure if he's talking about the troll's death, about his completed vengeance, or even about his own mental state. In the dim light, it seems to Zara that Iken's eyes have lost their spark. His angry spark that has been in his eyes is gone. Several wrinkles seem to disappear from his forehead. The ranger shoulders his bow, putting his arrows back in its quiver. He walks over to the defeated troll and stares at the corpse with contempt. His lips are pressed into a thin line. His fists clench, and his knuckles are white. Without a word, he lifts his leg and delivers a great kick directly into the face of the rock troll. This effort must have been painful for Ikendayo, but not a single muscle moves in his face. His expression is a frozen mask of rage and suffering. Potema, his companion and gentle soul that she is, pads over to Ikon, standing next to him as always, quiet as the grave, but as supportive as the tallest and strongest tree. She then gently rubs her head on Ikendayo's wounded leg. Though he has had a potion of healing, there is still a soreness there. Without thinking, Ikendayo's hand reaches down and touches Potema's soft, very soft, brown-white fur. If a wolf could purr, Potema would be doing so now. So low that only Potema, only Tema can hear it. He says again, "Done." And then he turns. He walks over to Zara But he also includes the entire party, even Valerie. He says, "Thank you, my friends. Your help was priceless." He shrugs. "From now on, you, I," and he points to each person in turn, "friend. Your questions will be answered if you still want them. You deserve that." And not a single question is asked. For each person, even Valerie in her haughty coldness, sees in Ikendayo at that point a fellow human, a fellow sufferer in life. And no words need be said. With that, we have defeated the rock troll. But we are not free. No. We still have a dungeon to complete and a troll king to kill. But Bracken walks over to Lindsay and he says, "Oh, little one, your bow and arrow fly true." He growls in appreciation, and Lindsay says, kind of shuffling her feet and looking embarrassed, "Oh, oh." And for once, little Lindsay is momentarily speechless. It would behoove us, I think, to be stealthy in such dangerous times. These are mushrooms here, and then, ooh, what's cooking? That looks yum yum. Oh, not so much, really. I don't want to know what's... It's better not to ascertain what or whom this stew is made of. Harim goes over, takes a deep sniff, and then turns violently green and walks carefully away to the corner for a little bit of alone time. Oh, we have two doors. So let's go in this one first. Oh, okay, just storage
Check
rooms.
that out.
What is that? Is that a human just laying there? Oh my goodness, that is so awful. What is that? Oh, it's a dying dwarf. Okay. Harim walks into the room and suddenly stops dead. He stares and notices that the dwarf lying amongst the debris is still alive. His breath is coming, but ragged and slow. The party sees a pile of mutilated bodies, reaching nearly to the, the bodies used to be various different things. This is probably meat storage, and we're just going to skip past that because that is a bit too grim for me. We are ready to pass by, but suddenly you notice some weak movement near the edge of the pile. Having a closer look, you understand that one of the people is not yet a corpse. He lives still. Harim comes close and notices a bare-chested dwarf. Moves his lips silently, staring blindly at the ceiling. His chest has some bite marks left by a huge jaw. Oh my goodness. Okay, and he is missing some of his person, and that's all I'm going to say on that. "Let us grant the gift of a quick death to this unfortunate soul," says Valerie. "Take revenge upon those monsters who made him suffer." "Let's leave the miserable sufferer alone. He's on the verge of non-existence, so let him make his own last step into oblivion," says Harim in his slow, depressed voice. Ikendayo pulls an arrow out of the quiver. "Mercy," he says, pointing towards the dying dwarf. Zara says, let us see. There may be something that we can do." We examine him. He definitely looks like he will not make it. He has lost a lot of blood, his horrible wounds. would have killed any person. The fact that he still clings to life is either a miracle or his own unthinkable stubbornness. Let's try and heal him. Zara takes out some potion, and with the help of Harim, who she encourages, they pour potion over his wounds and dribble as much as they can get into his mouth. And to their great surprise, the healing efforts have an effect of sorts. The dwarf seems to come halfway to life and starts talking in an unknown language. Karadosh Kramir de Galadon, or Gadalon, or something like that. The light around the party grows dim all of a sudden, and the floor starts to tremble, resonating with the dwarf's voice. Uzma Kiro Nad Zak. Valerie whispers, "What was that? What is that? What is happening? Stop it immediately, you villain!" Harim's hands clench at his beard. "The ancient dwarven tongue," he says. "The curse of Torag," he says. Oh no. So Torag is known as the father of creation, and he is a serious and stoic dwarven god of the forge. Grotus is the god of the end times, a sentient and cruel moonlit that looks down upon the boneyard and waits for the last living soul to die. "The curse of Torag," says Harim. "Oh, Grotus, embrace your faithful servant. We shall all die now." Harim's voice is half scared and half excited. Jubilo says, "You've had all the fun you've wanted, I hope. What are you looking at? Finish him off now, before he's done casting. That's what I say, and I am Jubilus Northruple," he says. And I'm not getting Jubilus's voice right just now, but it'll come back to me. Zara is lawful neutral, so she shouts in his face, trying to get him to his attention. "Stop! We do not want to harm you." The dwarf does not seem to hear. "Sirro Narabosh Nads Zak," he finishes and lets out his last breath. The silence that falls feels unnatural. Zara's own steps and the hastily muggled cough of Harim seem far away. It has gotten darker too, or is it just the eyes of the party members? Each party member looks around. After several long moments, the sensations fade, but you feel that the ancient dwarven curse has worked. Wow. So what happens here is that suddenly a despair, a cloud of despair, floats over the party. It crushes their wills, saps their souls, drains their joy. Any joy that may have existed in them is now gone, to be replaced by complete and utter ancient despair. It is as if the pain of every single dwarf who has ever walked on Galarian is now encapsulated in each of the party's hearts. Lindsay literally drops to her knees. Jubilos begins to weep. Ikendayo gets, if this is possible, even grimmer. The only two party members who seem to be unaffected are Bracken and Tema. But even they seem to be weighted down with a great strain or worry. Let us line up in front of this door and continue on as the most emo party ever. Like, we put the E in emo. All right. Some more storerooms. And some more loot here. And we're going to continue on down this hallway. But before we do so, let's see what this kobold artist is drawing. An odd kobold sits in front of the wall. His scales, snout, and especially hands are covered with something akin to a blend of tar and what seems to be rancid mud-colored filth. Occasionally, the kobold plunges his hand into the clay pot nestled beside him, grabs a handful of paint, and slowly smears it on the wall. Oh, look, he's drawn a little kobold warrior. Oh. Everybody needs creativity in these dark times. Jubilo says, "Judging by the odor, I can tell exactly what the main ingredient in this paint is." "At least it looks better than the paintings King Irovetti awards his prizes to." The unintelligible smears gradually resolve into a crude drawing of a huge kobold striking a heroic pose. There are many smaller figures surrounding him, but you can't tell who they might be. The kobold continues with his strokes. He is in a meditative mood, and he doesn't even seem to have noticed either any of the party members, even Zara, who's standing not 10 feet away from him. "Perhaps," Zara murmurs, "he is just lost in his work." Valerie says, "What is that? Fine art? As performed by kobolds?" Valerie wrinkles her nose in disgust. "Oh, in the order of Shellin, I was taught that all art is precious. But what would my mentor say if they were here to see this? Oh, whatever that word is supposed to mean." Zara clears her throat. Can you hear me?" The kobold continues in a strange state that seems to be somewhere between deep meditation and a trance. He raises his paint-smeared hands to the wall and makes a small and deliberate stroke, and then steps back to examine his creation as a whole. Zara repeats again, stepping closer. "Can you hear me? You there?" The kobold slowly, ever so slowly, turns to Zara. She cannot read the expression on his snout. I like that. But he certainly doesn't seem pleased.
"Sheesh, Barishisha, Castle Delars, Tuk."
The kobold points towards his painting.
"Tuk,
He repeats before turning away. Jubla says, "This Tartuk again. It's like he's everywhere. I'm sick of hearing that name. I fear I'm developing a conditioned response. Every time I hear Tartuk, I feel the need to vomit." But Zara says, "Hold yourself, and if you must be ill, go and do it in the same quarter Harem did it." Then she turns back to the kobold. At the word Tartuk, Bracken, her leopard, walks up to her side and sits down next to her. With a look on his face, if it could be on such an impassive face, of concern and interest. Zara, wanting to get as much information out of this kobold as she can before he goes back into his meditative trance, says, "How can I find him? Do you know where he is? You just said Tartuk. We look for him. He has been a source of much trouble in my lands." It seems the kobold has told you all he intended to, told Zara. He shows no reaction to any further questions. Zara, stubborn, tries one more time. "Tell me about him." And then she reaches out to shake his little kobold body, the little draconic self, the little mini dragon, and just shake him a little bit. "Listen, this is important. Tell me." He shows no reaction. Sighing, she says, "We will not raise our weapons to him. He does not seem aggressive. We will leave him be, as is my commitment to the king of the kobolds, at least that particular tribe. And plus I see no good in killing an unarmed kobold." The kobold continues on. So we're going to go back into stealth mode here, but we're going to do that in the next episode because if you are live, hang out with me. We will be continuing. But if you're watching this later on YouTube, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Pathfinder Kingmaker, the Enhanced Edition. In the next episode, we continue on and our goal to find the King of the Trolls. And either through the weapon of our tongue or the weapons of our swords and bows, we will make him submit or something like that. Something epic. Anyway, thank you, as always, for watching.